Before we started working together, I knew that I needed your help because I wasn't fully confident in the offer. And I had an offer out and I had made some money here and there, but it wasn't very consistent. And the confident piece wasn't fully there either. Those were probably like the biggest pain points. It was the confident piece and then like really knowing what my offer was and not just like slapping something together every time. And then like kind of like feast-to-famine cycle. We went from full-time when I was working with you, and then we went to part-time, and then we went like full-time in my business and like leaving corporate altogether. So yeah, you really saw it way before I did, and like really helped me through that whole scary process, which actually wasn't that scary after all. I definitely wanted to go full time in my business, and I wanted consistency. Like I wanted to feel confident in like being able to charge what I thought. I'm such a different person from this time last year. I think I'm charging 2 or 3 times, probably 3 times than I was last year. But I wanted your help in coaching me to really be confident and do instead of like being sloppy and kind of doing here and there. It's like very consistent, like consistent action. It was like I should know how to do it because I was very successful in my jobs, in my career. I was very successful. So the main concern was like I should be able to figure this out on my own. I shouldn't have to ask for help, or I shouldn't like need the help. So it was really allowing myself to be vulnerable enough to trust someone to like show you all the parts of me and really like just be vulnerable enough so that we could clean up all the stuff that was going on. Yeah, and actually like admitting that it was okay that I needed help.
Yeah.
It was the best thing that I could do, like really. But back then, you're kind
Yeah.
of like, I don't know. I'm kind of like, I could probably figure this out myself, and I'm sure I can do it. But just really admitting that I needed the help. It's so interesting. So we really took my business from a hobby to an actual full-time business. That's really the work that you and I have done. And in between that, that's like the surface layer, but there's so much work that has been done inside of me that affects me day to day, not just in my business. So in my parenting, in my marriage, in my relationship with myself, there's a lot of the work that you and I have done like bleeds over because how we do one thing is how we do everything. And so now me being like certain and confident in my business and charging and showing up, that shows up for me. Like I have so much more of a presence in my relationships. I know before this we were talking about my relationships with my sons. There's so much work that you and I have done together, like on my business, that bled right over. It also looks like the strategy, like you and I were very strategic in working together when we were thinking about like goal setting, but it wasn't just like, okay, we set the goal and then you helped me with the strategy behind to like backwards plan and actually create an actionable plan that was realistic and that I could hit. But it's literally coaching isn't just for your business, it's also for you as well. So I left corporate, which was kind of scary, and I'm so glad that I had you. Like initially just thinking about it was kind of scary, but I'm so glad that I had you and that we were working together because it's so interesting now that I'm on the other side, right? So I'm full-time in my business. There's so much of this that I couldn't see a year ago. And if I would have stayed in that same place, I would have missed all of this. So I left corporate and I'm full time now. I also got my first corporate client, which you coached me on. And first it was like, I'm leaving full time, I'm gonna go to part time. And then you were like, okay, now you're part time, that's fine. But when are we gonna take the jump to full-time entrepreneurship? And then we finally did that together, and at that same time it was like, here's my corporate client, my corporate deal that I would have never been able to see before. And really just oh my god, I think that was like one of the big one. Leaving, getting that first client, also raising my prices. Melissa, you really helped me with charging, and it's not just like about raising it, but being certain and confident and seeing the value exchange of the services that I'm offering to my clients. And then, getting paid for them. So I don't think that I would have done that as quickly as I did without your support, for sure. So that was another big result. And then the other one, that there's no dollar amount attached to it, but it's actually priceless. And I always say this to you, but it's like you taught me that I had the choice if I want to unravel or not. So whether that's something that's working in my business or whether it's something in my personal life, like that to me is one of the biggest results that we've created. So yes, I left corporate. Yes, I have I'm full-time in my own business, but I'm also very self-aware and very present in my own life now. And that's a huge result of working together, 100%. I would just say, for anyone listening, in the beginning, your brain's gonna offer you lots of thoughts. But the quickest way when you set a goal, like the very quickest way for you to reach it is to have someone that's already done it and been there, supporting you along the way. And that's how I knew, Melissa, that you were my coach and that you were going to help me take my hobby business into a full-time business. Because the very first time that I connected with you and we chatted, the way that you showed up to hold space for me, like the way that you showed up to listen to me and support me, as like not just the belief work, but the strategy piece, like I would not have been able to do that on my own. So thank you for that. And I'm looking forward to continue working with you.